What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock. We're back with some more Tilt and their 1995 album Til It Kills. Thank you again to Paulie, as well as to Luca, who's emerging from some unknown location. Are you coming up? She is coming up. But yes, the next tune on the album is Leanin' Like a Barn. I like the phrase. It feels like maybe this is an idiom or an aphorism, a saying that people use, presumably in more agricultural and rural communities, but it's not a phrase I'm familiar with. Just to look at it on the surface, maybe the idea is that a barn, is more of like a freestanding structure. It's not attached to, other buildings and so on, and as such, like, if there's some structural issue, it can end up, leaning or being, less, what's the right word? Having less structural integrity. Nevertheless, that is at best a stab in the dark, and I feel like maybe that's an overly literal interpretation. I'm sure if there is some common meaning to the phrase, that it's more of a metaphor, more of a conceptual meaning. Either way, I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Tilt. The tune is Leanin', I think it's Lean In, like with an apostrophe. Yeah, Leanin' Like a Barn, and it's from their 1995 album Til It Kills. Her voice is awesome. She's really got a great voice. It's got energy and rasp, but it also has a lot of melody as well. So yeah, shout out to the lead singer. And yeah, so this is one of three expressions. Is it leanin' like a barn, abandoned like a house, feeling like a knife in a drawer? So I'm guessing maybe now leanin' like a barn is more like a phrase, written for this song, and maybe not something that, is a common expression among people who are around barns. Abandoned like a house, okay, a place where people live and there's a lot of energy and life, and then suddenly if it's abandoned, all that is taken out and it's literally just a building. It's a, empty structure. A knife in a drawer, like maybe something to do with potential, or, it can have utility, also can be dangerous, but if it's in a drawer, it's tucked away, it's not being used, it's untouched. I guess it's like an abandoned house. Leaning like a barn, again, maybe if a barn is no longer in use and it's not being maintained, or, structural damage isn't being repaired, then it might end up, like you'd see it on the side of a road somewhere, this leaning, decrepit barn. But that is at best a guess. So yeah, I don't quite know what to make of those phrases, but I do enjoy thinking about how they could be metaphors, like for a person, for emotions, and for like interpersonal dynamics. So yes, I look forward to any insights people may have, but like a really fun tune, and like, I wouldn't say this is like country punk, which, it is sort of a thing. The first time I remember hearing tracks that had a bit of that sound was a Vandals album, which I actually had is like a double album. Is Vandals When in Rome, Do as the Vandals, and Peace Through Vandalism, which is somewhere, yeah, it's up there. And yeah, there's a couple of songs on there like Mohawk Town, where it's sort of like a Western frontier song, but with a bit of a punk vibe too. This one is more overtly punk rock, but in the first 30 seconds or so, it gave me a bit of a like, rural, like barn dance kind of feel. Now, maybe I was influenced to hear it that way because of the title, but yeah, it had a bit of a like rural sound to it, despite it being fast and energetic and, overtly punk rock. But either way, I really enjoy her vocals, some cool guitar work. Definitely the vocals stood out to me more than anything else, especially those like rising multi-tier extensions she did a couple times, including right at the end. So yeah, once again, shout out to Paulie. Do let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you for the next one. Peace.